A busy IOA March of Champions weekend includes the RYZE Hoops Tip-Off Classic and PBR Georgia's Major Elite. AC Georgia will be one of the teams to watch in that RYZE Tip-Off Classic. Cory McCartney here, along with RYZE Hoops Carter Wilson, and we're joined by AC Georgia Director Garrick Respress. Garrick, thanks, and appreciate it. Welcome in, and thanks for the time.
Thank you guys so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, the headliner of your group, four-star forward Josh Reid out of Pace. I mean, this guy has offers from the likes of Boston College, Oklahoma State, Xavier, one of the top 100 players in the class of 2022 per Rivals. From when you had him last summer to what you're seeing now, what is the next step in the game of this 6'7" forward?
I think, he plays an interior role for Coach White, who we consider one of the best coaches, not only in the state, but in the country at Pace. And so what he had an ability to do with us is to play much more perimeter. And I think that's something that you'll see in travel a little more. He has the ability and freedom Coach White gives him within their system. All the players have great freedom at Pace, and they'll play a great Columbia group in the state championship on Thursday. But I think for us, we have so much size. He is strictly a perimeter player. And I think it's a great opportunity for college programs and people to see him and his ability. We've seen him in workouts. He can put on some really kind of James Harden-like displays. He's left-handed. He has ability to have great at set shooting and great at creating space with his step-back move. And then he's extremely strong and explosive in means of getting to the basket. I know he's working hard to gain extra pounds, and he's a great finisher. So I think that you'll see a lot of that during travel season. That's a little different than what you see in high school, but his development is amazing, and he has great work ethic.
One of the guys that really caught our attention, this past summer was Josh Fulton, and he's kind of continued that this high school season with GAC. What are you looking for this summer from him, and what are you expecting as far as his development and his recruitment?
We're actually looking for a big step forward, and I don't want to jinx anybody, but we were very fortunate to have one of the largest jumpers, maybe the biggest jump in the state, in Manny Harris last summer. Manny is from a town of 4,800 people, an extremely hard worker who has a 6'3", jet quit north to south and can really make shots. And he'll be joining Georgia Southern next year. But we think that Josh Fulton has the ability to make a similar type of jump, in part because he has an ability to shoot, which gives him space. And he has great size. He's about 6'5", pushing 6'6". He's extremely, extremely athletic, and he can make open shots. I don't know that if yet he's the type of shooter that Manny Harris is, though few are, but he does have some characteristics that Manny didn't have in means of his ability to finish at the rim due to his size and athleticism. He is a great student. He's an off-the-chart student. I would imagine that many of the top academic schools across leagues should be engaged to him due to his academic background there at GAC. His mother's a graduate of Duke University. And, we think that he's going to have a similar type of eye-opening jump that Manny Harris had last summer.
Given the situation that we've had over the past year plus, it's kind of bogged down some recruitment a little bit. And I think we're going to see a lot more of these unsigned seniors that are going to be playing this year. And that's no different for your group with Westover forward Isaac Abedi. Can you just talk about him and what he's going to bring to the table for y'all? And if there's any other unsigned seniors that you want to spotlight?
Yeah. So we have two of them, potentially one more, but I'm gonna go with what we know specifically. We'll have two guys who you guys had a chance to see, one being Isaac Abedi of Westover High School in Albany. I was actually born in Albany long, long ago. I'm a lot older than you guys. Back in '73, my parents went to school there in Albany State. But so for me, it's very personal. I think if you guys can think over the years, dating back to our first graduating class with Philandris Fleming from Athens, Georgia, who has a chance to potentially be drafted after 2 great seasons at Charleston Southern. But we've always tried to get young men who are from outside the Atlanta area. That's very personal to me. When I was an assistant at Georgia Southern, I was engaged with a number of really good players that we may or may not have pulled the trigger on. And then a lot of those guys sometimes didn't have any other D1 opportunities. So we specifically target 1 to 3 players who are outside of the Atlanta area almost annually. And the 2 guys who we've kind of targeted this year are Isaac, who is 6'9". He's about 208 pounds, extremely athletic player, he has the ability to step out and shoot. There's some things that he kind of plays in up and down systems, and we want him to really kind of use. He's a super intelligent guy. He's got almost a 1200 on the SAT. We want him to kind of use that from a cerebral standpoint. So we run, as you guys know, a read and react offense. We're a 5-out, no post offense. So he'll have to, by nature in our offense, have to play more perimeter. I think when coaches and universities see that, I think there's going to be a great opportunity. He's talking to numerous postgraduate schools, and we expect him to be able to reclass and have a really great year. He might be a player, Carter, who plays the postgrad, and then you're hearing next year that he's playing somewhere in the SEC or a power conference. But wherever he lands, we think that he has an opportunity to have a great impact on the game due to his versatility. The other post player who we have is DeAndre Smart, who we can't sing his praises enough. Just as a person, as a player, he plays as hard as anyone who's ever worn our uniform. And he will be reclassing. He will be going to Loomis Chaffee or Winchendon. I believe it will be Loomis Chaffee in Connecticut, and he'll be able to reclass. I don't know that you guys know this, but DeAndre is of age of the 2022 class. So he turned 17 in October of this past year. So he's graduating from high school as a 17-year-old, and he'll turn 18 next fall like everyone else in the 2022 class. So I think it's a great fit. He has had amazing practices. I mean, he's just off the chart in means of his energy. He's expanded his ability. Coach Williams, who came from Lakeside Augusta, is now the head coach at New Hampstead. And he has been really great in means of how he's worked with DeAndre in means of expanding his ability. He's about 6'6", about 218 pounds. He looks great, and his energy is high. And so I think those two guys are two examples of 2021 guys who had some opportunities, but kind of explored for some obvious reasons. DeAndre with age. I think Isaac, because he's kind of not in the Atlanta area and wanted to have a little more exposure. And I think he's going to have a great spring and summer. And I look forward to both of those guys having huge years postgraduate.
Now, Garrick, we've talked a lot about known commodities, but who are maybe some guys that we're not talking about yet on your roster, but you think by the end of the travel season we will be?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's had some amazing practices with us, and he's better than even we expected, is Carver High School's Mitch Taylor. Mitch has been kind of on the scene, but really hasn't taken off. I think kind of the knock against Mitch is his shooting, which is ironic. His father played for Auburn, and he was one of the best shooters in the state, graduated from Statesboro High School's team in 1991 that won the state championship back then in 4A, which is the largest classification. He teamed with Keith Legree, who was a longtime assistant coach at Cincinnati, Texas Southern, Detroit. Keith Legree has come back to take over the head coaching job after the passing of longtime coach and legendary Lee Hill. And it's really amazing, kind of the knock on him is shooting. And he has been amazing. I know it's something he's worked hard at. He's been really, really good. I think the spacing of our system has made him really comfortable. He's such a smart player in means of a willing passer, getting to the cup, understanding, spacing. He has kind of that extra gear, which we haven't had in a point guard in a long time. So, I think he's someone who's going to really thrive by playing with so many good players and so many talented players. He has the spacing, and then he's such a willing passer. He's 6'2", has great size. I think he's someone you'll see. Another guy who's been really, really good for us. He came here, he moved here, he played for Arlington Christian named Delva Shedley. He's from Haiti. He plays for those guys and Jimmy Baxter and the staff there. It's a Christian school league, but he's 6'10". He weighs about 218 pounds, and he blocks everything. The first time we ever saw him play was against Pace, and he had 8 block shots. And to see it, guy block, Matthew Cleveland, that level guy, Madison Durr, and just really take away the interior from those guys, we knew he was good, and we're very fortunate that, he's decided to play with us. 2 other post players that I think are really guys who have stood out for us. One is Elijah Scholl. He plays for Forsyth Central. He's about 6'10", about 195 pounds. He reminds you kind of Isaiah Nelson Adodo. Has a really great ability to shoot the ball and stretch the floor. really active and means of running the floor. And the other is Greater Atlanta Christian's Eddie Page, who's about 6'9", about 215, 220 pounds. Eddie has been really good, great at showing his hands at close to the rim. Our guys have really kind of found him. He's a guy who quickly catches the ball, chins it, and dunks, very active on both sides of the ball. When we think about, the potential that those guys have as interior players, all with the ability to stretch the floor, kind of in a modern style, we're really excited about what they can do. I want to also mention some other guys. He's gotten a lot of attention, but Jairus Griffin of Peachtree Ridge, who's a strong 6'4", about 215 pounds. He plays football, and I hate to say it on the show, I'll say it. I think he's going to play football. But I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia. A guy like him in my hometown wouldn't even touch a basketball. But he has really, really played well. He really helped us a lot last year. We also have RJ Simmons who plays for Whitfield Academy in Mableton, 6'4", really good shooter. He had a great fall preview at Hoop Scene. I think he's one of the top players there. And he's really kind of grown in confidence. And then finally, Jalen Boston, who was kind of like the other guy at that Heritage team, super strong, has the pedigree. His dad, pro baseball, DJ Boston out of Cincinnati. But Jalen is about 6'4", about 200 pounds. And, I kind of looked at him as a big, strong interior guy, but he's really, really shot the ball well. And I kind of teased him because RJ Nord played with us. I said, man, RJ and James White didn't let you shoot it all. And he just kind of smiles. But he really, the thing that you get in, particularly with Jalen and Jairus, is a big physical player who can defend top players in some of the top programs we play. And then those guys are able to really contribute on the other side of the ball. So we're as excited about this group as we've had with any team we've ever had with AC Georgia. This is our 6th graduating team. So we're super excited.
Well, it's an impressive group for sure. And the RYZE Hoops Tip-Off Classic, part of the IOA March of Champions, will be streamed via LakePoint Live, powered by PlaySite. You can get to LakePointSports.com for all the info. Garrick, thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey, we thank you guys. And I want to just say a note. We kind of have mentioned, I talked to you guys offline a little bit. We're really appreciative of everything you guys do. I think in the basketball community here in Atlanta, we're as fortunate as any major area in the country. And you guys have done so much in means of helping create platforms for players, across, our city and across our region. So we're really appreciative of what you guys do. I think sometimes it goes under recognized, but thanks so much.
Thank you.